Right, okay. So at this point, let's have a look in on the mines. I think this will be one of the last times we have to have a peek. We are digging into these larger ones, little by little, bit by bit. But by and large, I think we may be good without pickaxes. But if we do need them, we've got a lot of pickaxes available. So we shouldn't have to worry too much. I am going to dump 5 workers into this workshop, though. Let's get those pickaxes happening more. I would love it if this updated based on the amount of time, based on production and everything else that was going to affect that. Wow, our happiness got really high all of a sudden. It's probably the cloaks, actually. Let's have a quick glance in here. Yeah, because we're now providing... Oh, well, actually, wow, okay. So those pickaxes, they're really helping. And they're only consumed by level 4 houses. I mean, all of our houses are level 4, but I believe because... Oh, okay. This is just a theory. But something that's used by a level 1 house gets used more by every time it levels up. But something that's consumed by a level 4 house only gets used faster for 1 level's worth of upgrade. Because the part of the house that's level 1, 2, and 3 isn't making use of that resource. It's a theory. Whether or not it's accurate, I couldn't tell you. But that actually does look good. That looks very good. Let's have a look in here. No, it seems it's going down as fast. Okay, well, either way, I'm pretty happy with that. Very happy. We are now offloading pickaxes to this place, just quite hefty. Okay, so I think our red coin issue is probably solved. Yeah, we're seeing a rise over there. A very healthy rise, in fact. Very nice indeed. Very nice. Wow. Okay, every now and then it gets a whopping great boost. Okay, at this point, I would say that I'm more concerned about the yellow coins, but I think we can step away from them for a little bit then. Right, it's magic now that we want to work on. We will need to expand our housing at some point, and I'm not going to make some crazy stilt, tenement block. We will be following along the roads, but we won't have to do it too much. Now, we've got a couple of places where there are magic crystals. We've got regular earth stones over there. We've got just mana shards over here, though. Do we have any closer? We've got water. Do we have air shards anyway? We got any air shards at all? I don't see air shards, but they're the only ones I don't see so far. So we're probably not going to have to expand too much to find them. But this concentration of magic over here is actually really good. To have all of this magic in one place is really fortunate for us. I like that a lot. Okay. Now, it's been a long while since I've had to play around with magic of any kind. I could also set up a gourmet food market for other things, but no, we're not going to get distracted. I want to start mining magic, basically. So we're going to plonk down a mine somewhere kind of central. We pop it there. Then it's going to allow us to mine these regular mana shards easily enough, but I can also sink a shaft to these other locations and then feed this place pickaxes as necessary. In fact, this place could also double up and help by bringing in other deposits. So on that note, we could and probably should tap this one. Sure. Let's go ahead and do that while I'm thinking about it. So bring this down, and up, then 2. There we go. So we've now got the other iron ore as well. That'll work quite nicely for us. But for the mana, we're going to want stone. Is there stone nearby? There's some stone over here. In fact, there's quite a decent amount of stone there. Is that stone? Yep, that's stone down there as well. So that's actually pretty cool. So we're going to be able to bring the mana and the stone together to make magic stone. Let's go ahead and build a... We are going to want a magical forge. Processes magic items using heat and pressure. We're going to need some coal too then. So we'll pop the magical forge right there. Now, what can the magical forge make? It can make mana bricks using fuel. We've got coal. Stone, and mana crystals. Mana crystals out of mana shards. With that, we would then be able to make mana pipes if we really wanted to. An ethereal conduit allows magic power to be transmitted to buildings. Magic rails, magic conveyors, and omni pipes eventually, but that will take a lot longer for us to get to. We do want mana pipes. It's ultimately where we want to be going. Let's see what other magical things we have right now. We've got nothing else just yet. We're going to need to unlock all of these, and for that to happen, we need to upgrade our base. And that is going to require mana crystals. So I'm going to say mana crystals are the first thing we're going to be trying to store long term. So let's grab a barn. I want 1 barn for mana crystals. Now I could just have this place only produce mana crystals. Or I could have it, drop it into the barn until there's enough, and then start feeding it back to itself. Well, that does create a bit of a weird loop. It might work. Let's see if we can't make that happen, shall we? So, mana crystals back in. Something like that, because we're going to need a grabber to bring out the mana crystals. Then we're going to need a pusher to prioritize storage, and then they get fed back in if the storage is full. That should work. Oh, Tilly. Hello, sweetheart. She's lying by the door. I will get up in a moment and let her out. So, mana crystals. We're not going to store mana shards directly just yet. Now, once the mana crystals are brought back, we can use stone bricks to make mana bricks. Now, the stone bricks are going to require a stone mason first. So let me go ahead and pull this down. Oh, thank you, Sheilab. And Regis, thank you so much for the gift subs. My goodness, you're up to 10 gift subs on the channel now. Please put plenty of love in chat for Regis. And I would especially appreciate it if some of that love came from the 5 people that benefited from the generosity. Ascendant, Battle Zone, Frankashire, Elfire, I like the name, and Star Aqua Moon Knight. There you go. You all got dapper motes. Please be sure to use them in chat to thank Regis for the gifts. That was very, very kind of you. Thank you. Right, let's go ahead and lower down some of the land around there. So I would like a stone mason. About here, if I can have it. And I should be able to. Pop. There we are. And that'll probably supply the bricks. And then over here, we'll have the mana bricks. And we can have that being extracted right about there. Oops. Magical bricks, can I find them anywhere? There we go. Mana brick. Perfect. Outside of that, is there really going to be anything I'm going to want? I am going to want mana pipes with it. That is going to take time to make. And I'll probably make a separate construction facility for that. Right, so we want the bricks coming this way. And I would like the stone to be extracted from here. There we go. The bricks should just come out straight by themselves. So just stone brick there. But the mana shards themselves and the fuel both need to go in this direction. Womp. Womp. Now I could use chutes instead of conveyors. And that's actually a good point. For the stone... I'm going to have something that'll lift them up there. But actually thinking about it... Other than that, I think the mana crystals can also move on chutes. So why make use of this? Why use this when I don't need to? What I can do instead is something like this. And then I can simply build it up on stilts over on this side. So don't need them there. But I will need them over here. There we go. And I do actually need the conveyors on this side. Because I'm fairly certain the bricks are not rollable. Could be wrong, but under the assumption that I'm not, let's just set this up. Dump, dump, dump. Oops. There we go. Push her in there, and then it'll feed back. So I want the mana crystals fully formed, fed there. I would like the stone rolled out here. Mana shards rolled out here. And finally, coal rolled out here. I could actually set this to any fuel, I imagine. Yeah, fuel. But it doesn't matter. We'll just set that one up. There we are. I know it's not going to be coal, so there's no real reason to pretend that it is. Right, now, in terms of the mine shaft itself, I'm going to need to tap in to some coal. But I may as well hook up to this area while I'm doing it. There, and there. And all the way down to here. I'll hook up a bit of coal for me. There we are. And over here as well. Actually, we can go down the side, I suppose, but there we are. That should do for now. I would very much like it if you would be so kind as to mine... oh, I also need to sink a shaft to the stone, don't I? Yeah. Let me get that done then. I think we'll hit this stone first, since it's conveniently placed. There we go. Those mine shafts are so good. Oh my lord. There we are. And do we have enough people? We do have enough people, but I'm not going to set that up. Mana crystals and indeed mana bricks eventually. What are you working on right now? Gotta wait for those mana shards. Dump. Mana crystal being made. That'll be extracted straight away. No, it went straight into the mana brick instead. Not strictly what I want, but I guess that will work. I think I kind of wanted the mana crystals first, though. Well, there's no particular way that I'm going to be able to restrict that. Oh well. Given that, then, I guess I don't need this fancy setup over here. I can just have it go like that. I'll set this up for mana crystals. There we go. Hey, Sheila. Oh, hello, Tilly. Did you just want to go out, have some food, and then come back? It's okay. I understand. My office is awesome. Oh, you look so happy. Sheila is just carrying her right now. She's just curled up. Oh, she looks like a bit of a queen. Aren't you, sweetie? Oh. Okay. Yeah. She likes being in here because my office is so warm. But I do like the effect that the mine shafts have on the ground. That's actually pretty cool. That's really cool that it kind of creates this... you can sort of see that it's been disturbed. Okay, you want to go back out now? Tilly, make up your mind. Cats. Right. Okay, so we are producing and storing mana bricks. Now, how many mana bricks are we going to need over here? Well, actually, we don't need mana bricks here. We do, in fact, require the mana crystals. So what I can do is I can turn that off, which means that this is going to fill up its storage and then start supplying the barn again. Aha! I think this is a good place for us to use some logic. Yep. It's time for logic, everyone. This is going to be a practical use. The practical uses are super good because they're not very common with me. Usually sometimes, could I make it do this? Should I? But can I? That's the important part. Can I do it? The should, nah. All right, so what are we going to need? We are going to want an inventory sensor. One for this barn. And we'll have them plonked there and there. Right, I want this inventory sensor to offset into this barn. Shouldn't want to set the value. There we go. It's now reading. Good. Ah, right. Okay, I need to right-click it. There we go. Okay, Aavak, the best assassin is a magic one that uses magic barriers, then shapes them into held daggers. Prove me wrong. Why go to the effort of making, like, you know, invisible handheld daggers? If you've got the ability to make force constructs, why even do that at all? Because, you know, if you're stabbing them with a dagger, you're still going to leave a puncture wound. Even if it's a force dagger. Instead, just make a force marble in their throat. Let them choke out. Then allow the force marble to go away. If someone investigates and they're like, well, they asphyxiated. Don't know why, though. There's no blockage in the throat or anything. There's a little bit of trauma there. I don't. Maybe they choked on a bone. You can do all sorts of things. Why make a weapon that needs you to be in close quarters? No. Just do it from afar. Just casually observe them. Well, I don't know. They're doing their taxes or something. Force construct in throat. Just wait. And just leave. Yeah, a forced artery blockage just looks like a heart attack. There's a million ways that you see, the best assassin is one you don't suspect. Is one you don't know did anything. The best assassin leaves no trace that it was an assassination. It was just a tragic accident. You know? In the same way, even if you could kill a bunch of people, if you're, like, you know, I don't know, burglarizing some military compound, I don't know, to try and save the free world from giant bipedal tanks that can shoot nukes. The best person to do that would be someone who gets in there, does all the things they need, disables the nuclear weapons, also the bipedal tank, and leaves without actually having killed anyone, without ever being seen. Because then everyone's like, well, what? We've got no one to retaliate against, because we don't actually know why this all broke. But you start killing people, you're leaving evidence. They might not be able to track you, but they still know that someone was there. I hate bipedal tanks that can shoot nukes. I know, right? So annoying. Right, okay, so we've got an inventory sensor there, we've got an inventory sensor here. Now this will update whenever something goes in. Now, what we want to do is we want to calculate. We want a number block, possibly, or a logic set block. Sets the value of another logic lamp, bool function, evaluates one or more input connections, and produces a true or false message based on applied Boolean operator. Bool function. Okay. I want the logic to be... No, I don't want that. I want a math block. I want the bool function so that it outputs a true or false, I think. But I want a math block to calculate it. It's been a while. I do apologize, everyone. Right, so math block. Set value. Nope. Function. There we go. That's what I want. Is greater than... So I want this inventory sensor to feed into here. Greater than what, though? Kind of want the set value to be whatever this is. So I might need another block for that. It's been a long while. Logic pusher block, a block that triggers another block's output without modifying it. Logic set block sets the value of another logic block without triggering output. Logic lamp, a block that lights up when its state is on. Agent trigger, bool function, inventory sensor. A block enables mathematical operations between trigger signal and set value. Okay, so we do want a logic set block. So I want this to feed into the logic set block. The logic set block to feed into this. And I want this value to be, let's say, 5 just for now. Donk. Has that updated anything? No. Let me set this down to 0 then. Currently, this should actually be outputting. Oh, the crystals can't travel. Oh, okay, that's a bit of a shame, but okay. Let's set this up for the full crystals. The crystals can't be in chutes. I think I always get confused by that one. Oh, this is set to charge crystals. Maybe that's what I had the problem with. That may have been the issue. Instead of it not being able to roll, I just was trying to pull out the wrong thing. Let's try this again. So instead of a charged mana crystal, I wanted a depleted mana crystal. And we should be able to see if that works. Are these charged? It's just a mana crystal currently. Have I specifically said charged crystal? I may have said charged element, actually. It's now trying to pull mana crystals, and it's not pulling them. So, yes, it does need a conveyor then. Worth double checking to see if I didn't need to use conveyors for it. Oh. Oh, of course. Because this is also a fuel, it's stocking up first. Damn it. No, I don't want mana shards. I specifically want this to pull mana crystals out, if it can. Fully formed mana crystals. So I'm going to test this again. I know. It's annoying, but it'll eventually work. As soon as this hits 20, it should extract one. Actually, I don't need this one to be there. Let's feed it over here. Okay. Oh, you know what I've done? I wasn't having these connect properly. There we go. Now it's all working properly. Fantastic. This it should be true. 3 is... If this is greater than 3, then I want it to shut that down. So I do want it to go into a bool block. I want this to be not. I would assume. Either that or I have a different block. I think we can just switch it over though. Signal gate timer block? No, I think that's right. And this one should be feeding into the grabber. So this is 7, and how much in there? That's 6. So 6 shouldn't be greater than 8. Let me turn this on for a second and see if that works. There we go. So that's now too high. So that's shut down. And the moment... we need a... I think because the way it ticks, this one is now going to wait a little while as it's building up its cargo. This will eventually trigger this and it'll open that gate again. Magic can be real if we develop the ability to tap into a universe that allows the impossible things that magic does. I mean, you know, magic is just sufficiently advanced science, depending on the way you look at it. Currently, we're waiting for that to trip over 9. So at the moment, this is more. So it's pushing that through a not function. Let's turn this off. As soon as this creeps up over the amount that we need, we may see this change. I'm actually going to speed things up here because this is taking a long time. There we go. That should be a bit better. Now we should start seeing these filtering across. 10 in there. As soon as that hits 11, that should trigger. But it has not. Okay. Well, what I could do then is I can have another bool block just down here. Actually, currently, if this is greater than, change this to not and shut it down. I guess I would need a if it is less than, unfortunately. Because the way the signals work, it'll only pass a signal if something changes. So this one is never sending a new signal. But because this hasn't changed, because it once it became greater than, well, I would have thought that, well, only this one is checking if it's greater than, actually. Yeah, that again, it's the signal passing. So this one only generates a signal whenever this changes. So this is checking if the inventory here is greater than the inventory there. Now that's updating all the time, but this one isn't updating, so it's not reevaluating anything. What I could do is either have a second hold check, and that is this greater than that, in which case turn that on. Or alternatively, every time something moves through here, try and push a signal change down the block, which we can do. So, for example, an agent trigger or a logic pusher, a block that triggers another block's output without modifying it, which we could have hooked up to this. Let's get rid of this one. So we want this one to trigger that output and this to trigger this. Let's have a watch. There we go. There we are. Perfect. Now there's 40 blocks in here. The moment this hits 41, this will be true, and then this one will start extracting more. But this will just mean that these are always even, effectively. Now, assuming that this works, I'll give a quick rundown of what's happening. This inventory sensor is checking this barn for the amount of mana bricks in it. This inventory sensor is checking this barn for the amount of mana crystals in it. This inventory sensor is passing that number, so the amount of mana crystals, to this block, which is setting the condition that this mathematics block is using as its gate. So this mathematics block is checking for greater than. It's checking if the input from this sensor, the number of mana bricks, is greater than its set value. And that set value is updated to whatever this barn contains of mana crystals. So the equation here can be summed up as, are there more mana bricks than there are mana crystals? This block passes its findings onto this bool function, which reverses the output. It's a simple truth. So it's like, yes, it is now greater than. It never really updates if it's less than. It only really seems to update if it's greater than. That passes, in the case that it is greater than, it passes to this not function, which reverses the truthiness. So true becomes false, false becomes true. So in this case, yes, it is greater than becomes false, and a false signal is sent to this grabber. False can be evaluated to off for all intents and purposes. So true is on, false is off. So in the event that this evaluates to true, that is, there are more mana bricks than there are mana crystals, turn off the grabber that is pulling mana bricks out of the forge. When that happens, mana crystals stop getting used to make more mana bricks, which means that eventually mana crystals will accumulate and then will be sent for storage in the barn. Every time the barn gets any kind of input, that is, something changes in the barn, it causes this inventory sensor to reevaluate and send a signal. To the logic set block, it sends the signal of what's in the barn, but to this block, it just says, yeah, something happened. This block then tells the math block to do its maths. So that's how we're getting around the fact that a signal is only sent on a state change. Because the way it was set up previously, nothing would ever change once this turned off because no more bricks were being added to the barn, so this inventory sensor was never re-evaluating anything. We need it to re-evaluate every time something changes, so by hooking that up, it gets around that problem. There are other ways you could do it, which it involves a lot more blocks and is a bit brute forcey, but this gets around the whole the kind of pulsing of signals. Hopefully that cleared it up for people. Anyone who is having trouble following what I did or why I did it. Ultimately, I don't want this barn to fill up with magic bricks without me having a stock of mana crystals. So effectively all this is doing is from one building, it's ensuring that there's an even output between these two storage buildings.